Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to episode 4 of Smeltz's personal podcast. So for today's episode, this was actually a suggestion made by one of my friends, and they wanted me for today's episode to talk about future relationships I want to have, and I actually feel like that's actually a really good idea. But before I get into future relationships that I want to have, why don't we break down what a relationship is and what are the three basic types of relationships. So to get started, why don't we start off with that? So to define a relationship, a basic definition of a relationship is the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected or the state of being connected. So a relationship, whether it's things or concepts or two people or more than two people, being connected is a relationship. Being connected with things, concepts, or others. Now, let's get into the three basic types of relationships. The first one is a friendship, which is the emotions or conduct of friends, like the state of being friends. When we define friendship, I feel like a friendship is very, very important to have in your life, because when it comes to things like friends, whenever you're going through, and I can speak this from personal experience, whenever I was going through hardships, hard times, I always depended on my friends, and whether or not they had advice for me to get through the certain hardship, what made me feel loved and appreciated was the fact that they were just there to listen. And I feel like that's why it's so important for us to have friends, to be there to listen and always just be there to by our sides, to when we're going through hard times or when we just simply just need someone to talk to or reach out to. I feel like a friendship is very, very important, and all of us should have a friendship in our life. Now, let's get into a little higher of a relationship than a friendship, which is basically commonly known as dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. Which dating is a stage of romantic relationships whereby two people meet socially with the aim to assess suitability as a future partner in an intimate relationship. So yeah, my experiences with dating, I've had the opportunity to meet new people and, get to know a little bit about them. And possibly, what I like most about dating is that, when you go on, dates with people, you get to, know something about them. And then in that moment, you could be like, oh, I really like this about this person. And then, you go on another date and be like, oh, I like this about this person. I feel like dating, going on dates, gives you the opportunity to find what kind of person you want to be interested in the future, when it comes to something boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, fiance, whatever you want to call it. I feel like going on dates with people gives you that opportunity to find out who, what kind of person you're interested in the future. And then if we get into the third type of relationship, it's kind of a big one, and it's marriage. So after the boyfriend-girlfriend stage, and then there's the fiance stage, and then there's, husband and wife stage, which, trust me, I don't plan on getting married anytime soon. I'm only 17 years old and still in high school. But marriage is the legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. So yeah, you become, it starts off as a friendship, and then, it could move on to dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, and then, fiance, and then marriage, which I feel like marriage is very, very important. And whenever the time is right, obviously, get married, but, it's usually whenever the time is right. And, yeah, so those are the three types of basics relationships, and basically what a relationship is. Now, let's move past that, and let's get into a little bit about me and what this episode is about. So my friend asked me, and you know who you are if you're listening, asked me to talk about future relationships that I want to be in. And so, why don't we start off with a future relationship I want to have with my family? Now, let's start off with my parents. Like, my mom and dad, like, they're, like, the most amazing people I've ever met. Like, I'm so lucky to, like, have those two in my life. Like, my mom, she's always helped me with, like, stuff, like, when it comes to, like, school. Like, she always reminds me whenever I'm, like, falling behind in a class or I need to turn in an assignment so that, I can be successful in my academics. My dad, he's always, like, been very, very supportive. Like, so is my mom. Like, both of my parents have been very supportive of my goals. Like, whenever I would want to, like, go out for something, they always, like, encouraged it. Like, of course they did. They never said, like, we don't want you to do, like, what you want to do. They always, like, came in with the attitude, like, try it and see if you like it. And if you don't, like, you don't have to do it. Like, they never, like, said that, oh, it's a bad idea that you should do this because you're not good at it. It's like, no, they always were supportive of everything I did. Like, I've done many things in my childhood. I played football for a little bit. Like, it was flag football. And, then when I got to high school, I wanted to play actual ball. But then I realized for myself that maybe that's not such a good idea because, I wasn't really strong at the time. And I wasn't very athletic, like, in high school. But I still was involved with football. I became a team manager. And it was actually my dad's idea to... So I want to thank him for that because I've been a team manager for like 3 years of high school. And whether or not I'm on the team, it still was an amazing experience to be involved with football, even though I didn't play as a team manager. Another thing that my dad helped me the most with, like, was being financially responsible. And he actually got me my first job. And even though it was a small job, I was just working as a filer at his office building. And it still was a good paying job, and like I'm just so glad that I've been working there for so long. I've been working there for 2 years now. And then when I first like started earning money, my dad mainly taught me the importance of finances and like saving your money, how you should always like save half your paycheck, and so like that it can support you in your future. He also taught me the importance of investments and like how investments work so I can make more money. And yeah, like, I just think my dad is just, like, such an amazing person, and he's been such a, like, good role model. Like, I'm just so grateful to have both of my parents in my life. Like, my mom, my dad, like, they're both such amazing people, and I love them all. Like, I love them both so much. And mom and dad, if you're listening, I hope you heard that loud and clear. Now, I don't only have my mom and dad in my family. I do have an older brother who is 19 now. His name is Hunter, and with a future relationship with my brother, like, I want to be able to build a stronger relationship with him, mainly because, like, when we were younger, Hunter and I didn't always get along. I mean, most siblings sometimes don't get along, but we didn't always have, like, a positive relationship, and as we got older, like, I started thinking about it more. I tried to, like, build a stronger, more positive relationship with my brother. And when we were in high school together, I was a freshman, he was a senior. I thought that we were actually getting closer. But then he graduated, and I guess we both became kind of distant from each other. Like, he eventually, like, moved out and moved on. And the only thing that I want, like, with my brother, like, when it comes to, like, a relationship, I just want a more positive relationship with him. I want to build that positive relationship with my brother, mainly because our relationship when we were younger was not so positive. It was always just negative and arguing, like constant back and forth. Like, and Hunter, if you're listening, like, I want you to know that I love you, bro, and that if you always, like, I'm always here for you because we're brothers, like, through and through. So yeah, that's basically the future relationship I want to have with my family. Now, let's get into future relationship that I want to have with, like, my friends. Like, when it comes to friends in my neighborhood, friends at school, friends at my church, like, etc. So, I want to talk about experiences I've had with having amazing friends and having not so amazing friends. Necessarily, like, yeah. So why don't we just get into the not so great friends? So, I've had some constant, like, back and forth friendships where I thought a friendship was going to work out, but then it ended up, going downhill, and it just sucks because, like, it's hard to, like, say that you lost a friend because you feel like your whole world is over just because of one person. But I'm here to tell you guys, like, when you lose one friend, yeah, it sucks, but look around you because there's so many amazing people out there who love you and support you, and I know that for a fact. Just because I lost one friend doesn't mean I am all alone. I know that I have such amazing friends now. Yes, and I lost some friends in the past, but I still have amazing friends now, and I know that they love me and support me. And I want to actually get into those amazing friendships. Isaiah, of course, me and him have gotten so close. Like, we met through choir, and Isaiah, if you're listening to this, you might want to listen up quick. But Isaiah and I got close with, like, choir and stuff. Like, we became, like, very, very good friends, like, at the beginning of it. Yeah, me and him went through some hard times. Like, me and him, like, when we were friends, like, we went through hard times of, losing friends that were close to us. Like, ended up becoming close and then becoming distant. But we got through it, and, we're just, like, we've been just such amazing friends, like, for a long, long time. And now, like, I want to get into another very good friendship I have, Wade, and yeah, this dude better be listening too. Wade, if you're listening, like, I hope that you can hear this loud and clear. Wade and I, we met each other when I was a freshman in high school and he was a sophomore. Me and him didn't really know each other back then. And then when I got to my sophomore year, he was a junior. That's when we officially, like, started, like, getting to know each other better and, like, started hanging out and spending time together. It was crazy, like, how fast, like, we instantly clicked. And, like, we started hanging out after, like, a month of knowing each other. We started planning on, like, group activities and, like, group dates, like, and we even I went to my first prom, and he went to his first prom. He was in our prom, like, me and him put together our own prom group. Like, it's amazing, like, how many things that me and Wade have done together. We even went on a vacation together. We called it Brocation. Like, and I'm just so grateful for all the amazing my two amazing best friends that I have, which is Isaiah and Wade. You guys, I love you both so much, and, like, I appreciate everything that you've done for me, and I'm so glad that we've gotten the chance to become closer throughout high school. Now, I want to talk about, because, like, sometimes you can get relationships from the certain sports that you're involved with. Now, I was involved with football, like I mentioned before, and, man, I have met so many amazing people, like, through football. Football, yes, like, we were friends, but if you're involved with football, they become, like, brothers, like, family to you. And it's just, like, so amazing that I got to meet such amazing people on football. I might want to call them out right now. Like Caleb, Jamarcus, Jonah, Javon, Cadius, who's no longer at Jordan, Kale Wakely, Nate, Kelly, Coach K, Coach Rico, Coach Cruz, Colby, like, so many amazing people. And, like, I hope you all heard that. Kawhi, Jovi, Anthony, David, Matthew, Damian, all my football friends. Like you guys are like family to me, and I'm so glad that we got the chance to get to know each other more. And I just appreciate all the friendships that I've made through football and, like, all my other sports. And now let's get into new friendships that I've actually made. I feel like junior year I met a lot of new people that that some go to Jordan and some don't. In fact, the person that doesn't go to Jordan actually made the suggestion for this episode of this podcast, which you know who you are. And honestly, like, if they are listening right now, like, I want to say that I'm glad that me and you have gotten to know each other for the last couple of weeks. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, like, how instantly, like, we became, like, friends. Like, and, like, how we, like, and how we want to, like, spend more time. Like, we want to talk and, like, get to know each other a little more. Like, I just think it's so amazing. And also, thank you for making the suggestion for this podcast episode. And also, the new friends that I made friends with SBOs, like, I made friends with, like, JH at, like, my high school's cheer team. Like, I met new people there, like, got to know them a little more. I met some choir kids, especially, which I'm so grateful for all of my choir friends that I got to meet over this year. And so, yeah. Now, to conclude today's episode, I think all of you are probably wondering the big question. It's like, he's talking about future relationships that he wants to have, but what kind of future relationship would you want to have for yourself? Now, this is kind of a big question for me because, like, I've always been so scared to, like, try to, like, be in a relationship. Mainly because my biggest fear was, am I going to be a good enough partner for that other person? And so, like, and also, I have a lot of plans, like, after high school, and if I get together with someone, like, I was afraid of mainly, like, letting them go, because, like, obviously, I plan on serving a mission after high school, and that's, like, just the one thing I was, like, worried about if I got into a relationship. But the big question is, like, would I be open to having a relationship? Well, of course. Like, I feel like a lot of people would be open to having a relationship. And honestly, with anyone who would want to be in a relationship with me, like, by all means. But, like, obviously I'm open to it. But, like, the one thing I'm scared about is not being a good enough partner. Or losing interest, or having to let them go because I'm leaving. But you all are probably asking, well, does he want to be in a relationship? All I can say is I'm open to it, and who knows what the future lies or holds for me regarding relationships. And I think that's going to do it. Thank you guys for joining me for today's podcast episode 4, and, like, just talking about, like, personal relationships or, like, future relationships I want to have. Also, thank you to my friend who made the suggestion. I appreciate you, like, sending the suggestion, and if you're listening, I've said this 100 times, you know who you are. Thank you guys for joining me on episode 4 of Smeltz's Personal Podcast. Peace out, guys. See you in the next one.